Ground is moistured. You can create anything at any time. You can create what? Anything at any time. You can create anything at any time. If someone is broken the feet, you pray for a person, the bone comes together, you created it. If the eyes were blind, now the eyes can see. Is creation moisture? Because when there was moisture, God, are you aware why God formed many animals? Do you know why God made many animals like this? Creation has been waiting for sons of glory to be manifested. I want to explain it clearly. Why He made so many animals? When the ground is moistured, you can create anything at any time. You can create what? Anything at any time. You can create anything at any time. If someone is broken the feet, you pray for a person, the bone comes together, you created it. If the eyes were blind, now the eyes can see. Is creation moisture? Because when there was moisture, God, are you aware why God formed many animals? Do you know why God made many animals like this? Creation has been waiting for sons of glory to be manifested. I want to explain it clearly. Why He made so many animals? When the ground is moistured, you can create anything at any time. You can create what? Anything at any time. If someone is broken the feet, you pray for a person, the bone comes together, you created it. If the eyes were blind, now the eyes can see. Is creation moisture? Because when there was moisture, God, are you aware why God formed many animals? Do you know why God made many animals like this? Creation has been waiting for sons of glory to be manifested. I want to explain it clearly. Why He made so many animals? When the ground is moistured, you can create anything at any time. You can create what? Anything at any time. You can create anything at any time. If someone is broken the feet, you pray for a person, the bone comes together, you created it. If the eyes were blind, now the eyes can see. Is creation moisture? Because when there was moisture, God, are you aware why God formed many animals? Do you know why God made many animals like this? Creation has been waiting for sons of glory to be manifested. I want to explain it clearly. Why He made so many animals? When the ground is moistured, you can create anything at any time. You can create what? Anything at any time. You can create anything at any time. If someone is broken the feet, you pray for a person, the bone comes together, you created it. If the eyes were blind,
a wonderful day. Thank you in the presence of God. And thank you very much to all our disciples who made sure that the work of God continues. Thank you for the word of intercession, prayers, and the word of giving itself.
Recording in progress.
Thank you very much, men and women of God. Can we clap for our disciples? Bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you. Thank you very much, pastors. Your commitment to God, it is your reward. Yes, it is plentiful harvest. The plentiful harvest is everywhere, but few labors, meaning the ground is already ready for the harvest, but there are few labors. So when I see you going in as disciples, praying, sitting, it is a sign to show that now the beauty of the land is about to extend, because we have to multiply that which we had. Like Jesus, John 6, he kept on multiplying. He multiplied the bread and the fish. When there's multiplication, you must know that the harvest is already proper. It's ready for the manifestation. For the creation has been waiting for the sons of glory to be manifest. Creation is not waiting for the sons of glory. You can be a son of glory, yet not yet manifested. You have to manifest. Therefore, creation is been waiting, eagerly waiting, frustrated for the sons of glory to be manifested. So when they are manifested, it is now the proper ground for the creation. Thank you very much. We still continue with our series of the men. Yes, men shall not live on bread alone, but by the word that proceed from the mouth of God. You are not a man the moment you eat directly from what proceed from the mouth of God. What proceeds from the mouth of God, it gives life. It nourishes, it moistures the body, meaning it is now proper ground to see the manifestations of what God has promised. That's why when God said in Genesis chapter 12, Abraham, go out of your country and go to a place which you do not know. In that land, I'll prosper you. It was a promise. God cannot send you without a promise. When He sends you, He sends you with a promise. And when there's a promise, you must know that it is the promise that comes directly from the God Himself, not from man. That's why men shall not live on bread alone, but by what proceeds from the word of God, meaning that which God gives directly to the flesh, prospering His servants, prospering the men and women of God by His word. So miracles are performed because there's no more man. Miracles is not man's business, but it's God's business. I want to show the mystery. Some miracles, they cannot take place until there's a certain level of perseverance. There is a certain level of perseverance that causes miracles into the manifestation. That's why we have many fruits, but these fruits, this fruit, which is perseverance, is the one that drives out miracles and signs. Builds, but perseverance performs miracles. So when you want in the church, by perseverance is for the sake of opening doors into the mystery. So we strengthen the church by love, is what Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 8. However, we do not strengthen the church by knowledge, but we strengthen the church by the love of God. So miracles can still be limited when there's no perseverance. That's why when it comes to 2 Corinthians chapter 12, Apostle Paul says now, it is the perseverance that led him into performing great signs and wonders. He says the mark that marked a genuine apostle were miracles, signs, and wonders which were done in perseverance. You see? You see? You may have love. Miracles might not still happen. You see? Having love without perseverance. A person you love still being in the wheelchair. A person you love still being in the crutch. Still being mortal man, flesh. But when the perseverance takes over, now there is an attempt now to remove a person out of the ground. That's why miracles and signs and wonders were not done because there was love, but they were done because in great perseverance. Love strengthens the church. It develops the church. When it comes to building, I'm telling you, love will shock you. When it comes to building, strengthening, structuring, foundations, growing, multiplying, love is the greatest. So you may have love. Here is the love, not of God, but is of man. That's why 1 Corinthians chapter 8, he that loves God is recognized by God. Therefore, why you say you love God, but you are not recognized by him? Meaning is the love of man. You cannot take the love of your children, love of your wife, love of your friends, love of your business, and give it to God. God desires the kind of love that does not have any contamination. That's what we mean intimacy. Purity is food for God. I will hear many people say now, God does not eat. God has a food that he eats. He eats righteousness. He eats purity. When there's purity, God gets to be satisfied. He can perform freely because now there's no more man in the person. I believe today we are going to get the mystery men and women of God. Some miracles, signs, wonders were not done because there was a man. There was a love of a man. There was a man perseverance. There was endurance of man. Men are not in the state of living in the mind of God. That's why Psalm chapter 1, curse is the one whom is counsel is of man. Your counsel is here around the earth. When you solve problems, you go to man. When you deal with matters, you consult man. When you have to do some other projects, you have to consult man. Now your counsel becomes a counsel of man. And when it's the counsel of men, you can pick up cases. That's why he does not call them men. He says those wicked men. It's Psalm chapter 1. Then when it comes to Isaiah 55, your plans are not the same as my plans. Your ways are not the same as my ways. Your thoughts are not the same. Meaning there were plans of men. That's why we often being beaten in the ministry, being beaten in anything that we do, because we think that which what is of the mind of God is of the mind of man. Losing the mind of men, you come where there are no curses. You come to a level where the storm, where it is preached fully without. When you say rain, it shall happen. When you say sun, stop, it shall stop. When you say that door open, it shall open. When you say cancer, go out, it will go. When you say HIV, smelt, it will go. When you say to the cripple, come here, you strengthen them, you take them by. So here are the times where we no longer perform miracles without any explanation how they are happening. They were done in perseverance. Perseverance is not of a man. You can't be perseverant. That's why you end up having a stroke, because you persevere in the level of a man. Some things were done in perseverance when God created them. So they need the kind of unity of God in order to deal with them. Just like in Luke chapter 17, that one, you know, it makes me crazy, that one. That one, it makes me crazy. It says, if you have this kind of faith of a mustard seed, you will say to that mulberry tree, move, be planted in the side of the water, in the surface of the. So different climatology. When it comes to the creation of God, evaluating for the bodies which are already not man, but God. So you can say that tree, move. The tree will be moved. And the climatology, where there's no from the ground where there's no crowd. Yo. From the physical, the level of man, into where God lives, into a level where there's no longer man. Therefore, it will be a tree that will remain forever. You will not be stuck on the way. You will not be close on the way. Your ways cannot be challenged. Anything you do shall happen according to the power and majesty that lives within you. That's why today is a struggle when it comes to dogs. It's a struggle when it comes to plans. It's a struggle when it comes to your weight. Easy ways are of men. Easy ways are of men, because you find a way is of men. But this one of godliness, to show that this one is of God, not of men. Apostle Paul says in 2 Timothy chapter 3 from verse 12, he says, those who are eagerly to live in the godly life, they will face tribulation, trials, troubles. It's righteousness that will, you see, many think that righteousness just leads you where you can be free. No. It will lead you into the troubles. Because first thing that you do for you to attain that righteousness, you leave thoughts of men. You leave thoughts of men. You lose the plans of men. You go to God. Imagine your own man. Oh, you get better. Huh? Faster tata or rather mudimo tata anya go alina konyana ya udalanya. You know, us, our bodies, we understand clearly. We don't want to be in the level of men. Danger zone. That's why Apostle Paul, I don't even want to give a chance. Yeah, danger. Because if you have an influence in the kingdom, how much more influence will do when it comes to the level of men? That's why, as men and women of God, we ought to put our bodies under subjection, so that when we preach to others, your own body will not be disqualified for the prize. It will gain the prize. It will remain in the presence of God. God will not afford to lose your body. God will not afford. And not even an angel will come down of darkness, will come and say, let's take this body. No, God will not permit. God will not permit. That's why their bodies, when they die, demons assess those bodies, they take them. It's the reason why you dream your brain you left long ago and say, hey, I need blood, I need this. But their bodies, when they go out in this earth, they cannot be assessed. Because there was no assess of men when they were still on earth. Which body can come and say, hey, when I can put you in? A body of Cobas fundraising? It can't be. A body of Kennedy, never. When they appear free, as they are free in the presence of God. So we need to understand as men and women of God where we are going and where we come from. A man who's born again is like a wind. No one knows where it's coming from. No one knows where it's going. Men, they know where they are going, you know. If you can take a man in the street, you ask where are you going, you tell you, I'm going that direction. I'm going to do this. It's men. But when it comes to God, thoughts of God are not the same as God's, are not the same as men's thoughts. Plans of God are not the same as men's plans. Ways of God are not the same as the ways of men. That's why we want to do greater things. Move from the thoughts of men. Move from men. Come to God. And how do you come to God? Isaiah 55, seek God while is still found. while he is still found. Because there will be a time where you will not able to find him because there will be men around you. Many men, many. You know, some connections of people, men around them, no longer permit them to spend time to worship God. It's no longer possible to worship God. Let's go there so that you can get it clearly. Let's go there. Isaiah 55. Isaiah 55. Isaiah 55. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this. Oh, everyone who is thirsty, come to the waters. Come to the waters, you who have no money. If I have to attain that, I need money. Men and women of God, you know, if you have to buy, you know, when you have to open that door, when you have to start that project, you need money. But he says, come and buy. The problem, you know, men instead of God. Who said you will prosper in that way? Of men. Who said you are not qualified to buy it? Knowing man thoughts, it affects the thoughts of God. You end up not thinking directly as God thinks. You no longer do things the way God does things. It doesn't mean if there's no money, it will not prosper. I have seen him chasing things without money. Hey, I didn't see Malenda. Look at the neighbor. Don't say you are alone. So much say, don't say you are alone. Look at the neighbor. Say, neighbor, hey, it's just Shuba and I'm sorry. Stress comes because there are thoughts of men. I cannot touch that because now that for it to be purchased, it needs 2,000. It needs 100,000. It needs 30,000. It needs. So Moses, God made it without. Joseph, God made it without. As he was going on the wilderness, the woman, Zipporah and his sisters, then Moses comes. Here the shepherds wants to harass them. Moses comes, he fights them. You can't fight in the battle of God, and doors do not open. Doors will open the moment you fight in the ways of God. As Moses chased the shepherds, and Zipporah goes to his father, to her father, and the father says, show me that man. Bring that Egyptian here. They don't know that that man is an Israel indeed. When he comes, as he enters there, now, the high priest begins to be in love of Moses. He says, Moses, what you have done is a good work. Stay with us. Do not go without. Now, later, as he takes off the ship, the father says, it's not good for a man to be alone. You must get the mystery. Father of the Torah, look at Moses. Moses is going to take the ship into the wilderness. Now he comes like God. It's not good for a man to live. Now take my daughter, marry my daughter. Without. So today, people are confused to do some certain kinds because they are affected by the mind of a man instead of the mind of God. With God, all things are possible. With man, all things are hindered. There are some certain things can be hindered when there's man. That's why when he came into his hometown, you must get the mystery. As he entered his hometown, they reject him. Jesus declares a famine to himself because it does not depend on man, it depends on God. He said during the time of famine, so they reject him, but he speaks of a famine. He enters his hometown, they don't accept him, but he speaks of his famine. As he speaks of the famine, he says, now there were many widows during the time of during the time of famine, but God chose Zelophehad to feed Elijah the prophet. Why Jesus spoke those words? He spoke them in the matters of men rejecting him. When you are rejected by men, you get stressed. That's why I keep on encouraging even single mothers, single parents. A man just come for 2 years. We have been single for 20 years. A man just come 2 years. He leaves. After he leaves, you start to know. You start now to give yourself to drugs. You start to give yourself to the earth. You start to stress. You are depressed. The man left you. Hey, you must live without a thought of man. Causes you to feel pain when the man leaves. So if the man leaves, a believer is not bound. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Let's clap for Jesus. Let's clap for Master. So when an unbeliever leaves, the believer is not bound. So when you are bound as a believer, you trusted in man. Yeah, the times you have to speak like Job. God has given, God has taken. It's the mind of God. When you lose something, you don't say devil. When your father of your children leaves, you don't say devil. You say, God has given, God has taken. God has taken. Naked I came, naked I go. Naked. Man shall not live on bread alone, not by man only, by God. So we are not going to erase years where you were single by 2 years of where you were with someone. You end up become like a man who left. You become like a man who left. There are people, when they leave you, you are left with their thoughts. And when you are left with your thoughts, it can be the thoughts of men. And thoughts of men can cause you to be limited. You're not able to do other things. Other things begin to prosper against you. Because he that is loved by God, he that loves God is recognized by God, not by men. So you enter your hometown, you want to be accepted. Check the kind of a ministry that you have. Check the kind of peace that you have. Check your cancer. If it's not of men, listen to this. Okay, put a finger there. I want to listen. Ziyashitanyisa abafundisi bami. Psalms chapter 1. Now you get it clearly. Verse 1. Blessed is the man. Hey, I wonder if you understand this one, you will scream. You will shout until your neighbors call police. Call police. Hey, they are fighting in the neighbor room. There's a fight. Yet you are shouting for the Lord. You are shouting for Messiah. You are shouting for the glory. You are shouting for the one who lives with you. You are shouting for the cancer, that which is not visible. Listen to this. Listen to this. I'm in love with you. You are in love with me. And we are inseparable, unconditional. I'm in love with you. You are in love with me. Inseparable, unconditional. It's not of men. Love of God is not of men. Love of God it does not fail. Man can fail, but God cannot fail. Men can fail you. Men can just write you off. So when they write you off, what do? What comforts you? There must be a counsel that remains forever, not of man. Listen to these Psalms. Psalms chapter 1. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of ungodly, nor stand in the path of the sinners. You see, where they are mind or the counsel of men. Let me take it with amplified so that you can get it clearly. Yo, my God, man, I call. Many times I go there, he comes, he say, hey, go back. Hey, you are not supposed to be here. But the Lord, hey, go back to the earth. I want to be where you are. I want to be. Then you are there where he is. After you reach there, now he comes and says, hey, Penuel, I call. Go back. Go back. And Lord, here there's peace. He said, I can show you your room and everything, but go back. Go back. Go back. But Lord, please, please. Then God says, what is the report on earth now? What will they say now? If you go now, you go. What are they going to say? What killed you? They're going to lie. They're going to lie. They're going to speak. Go complete. Yeah, when you go, people, they will lie a lot of things. Hey, he was poisoned by his wife. Hey, he committed suicide. Hey, mighty. Paul never went to heaven after they cut his head. No. He went to heaven while he was still here on earth. Apostle Paul says, this is how I was caught up into the dead paradise. I know of a man who was caught up into the dead heavens. When in the body or out of the body, I do not know. When in the flesh or out of the flesh, I do not know. But I know the man whom he was taken into the heavens. So people, ministers, women, and men and women of God are still waiting to go to heaven on the day when they are departing. You can enter now. You can enter. You don't cancel the teaching and say, hey, hell, hey, God, hey, hell. I don't know where they took this revelation that Satan is carrying. He will be carrying a fork, shuffling people. On that day, also him is going to burn in that fire. No. When is going to get the time of a fork, using a fork, shuffling people? Satan. No, it will be the day of him being judged. You'll be thrown also into the pit together. You'll be burning there. So when will he have a time when he's going to shuffle people with the fork? Iskoko nasi iskoko. Satan obama ngeforok. Ngilahlele emlilweni. Ayikho lento. It's only God who will be doing that. Only God. Even him, he will be that fire. Do you think you will be having your time? Hey, let me take him to the fire. No, you will be burning as well. Okay? Listen to Amplified Classic. Vision. I love this vision. Blessed, happy, fortunate, prosperous. Prosperous. Invariable is the man who lives not in the counsel of ungodly, following the advices. Just clap for Jesus. Following the advices and their plans and their purposes. That's when God will come and says, your plan. That's when we talk about the borrowed mind. We have a mind, but it's not of yours, it's of a man. A mind that has been imparted in you is a mind. That's why when God says perform, there's something that hinders mind. If your joy in the Lord is disturbed, check counsel that you have. If you meet with anyone, your joy, peace, you talk to someone in the phone, advices, you share the message, you get disturbed, check the counsel. A thought is coming to your mind. Bless. Why? You can say it will listen. A Mnguni tree does not listen to men, it listens to God. That's why when you have this kind of a master seed, a hidden faith, a kind of a faith, is God's faith, is God's language. It's hidden to men. You say to that Mnguni tree, Luke 17, be rebooted. Go to be planted in the sea. It will listen to you. In the surface of water, it will listen to your command, because you don't speak on your own. You speak in the message of God. Listen to this. Blessed, fortunate, prosperous, and valuable is the man who walks or who lives not in the counsel of ungodly, following their advices, their plans, their purposes, nor stands, nor submissive, or submissive, or inactive in the path. Path means ways, where the sinners walk, nor sits down or relax or rest, where there's a scornful and mockers, gathers. But he delights and desire are in the law of the Lord. Let's pray for Jesus. Are in the precepts and instructions and the teachings of God. Habitually meditates and studies and ponders by the day and night. They keep the law of God by day and night. Their thoughts cannot be affected by night. At night, they are in meditation. When they sleep, they are not sleeping. They are in meditation of God. They are busy in the child. There is interference of nightmares. Because when they sleep with the thoughts of men. They sleep with the plans of men. Do you know the way God looks at you? He doesn't see you the way you see yourself. You cry, God, I don't want this. Yet, someone, when they look at you, strength is given. So when you don't want that to happen to your body, you don't want to go that path of God, you can meditate, when you can live in the godly way, in the way of God, in the presence of God, you are causing others to be weak. Do you know that as a grandmother, when the grandmother looks at you, high blood no longer matters, sugar diabetes no longer matters, yet you are complaining as a minister of God. You become their strength because you come as though like God's strength upon them. Listen to this. Go back to Isaiah. Go back to Isaiah 55. That's why we often not know that the ways some things are plans, life, plans, challenges, conquers, because we think that things of God are exactly like of men. Because it's really lirato joana ulive mudimu. You get it? You can't take the love of men and give it to God. We take the love of intimacy and give it to God. Therefore, God will prove that you are not a man. You are not a man. Isaiah 55. Let's finish. Listen to this. Listen to this. Yes, come and buy. Eat. Come, buy and eat. Yes, there are some things that you eat because they are found only in God. There are some things that when you eat, you get satisfied because they are not found among men. You eat them. They change your thoughts. They change your mind. You no longer see things the way people see things. You know what high blood does to a person. The way you look at high blood, you don't see it the way it is. You don't interpret poverty the way people interpret it. You don't interpret sickness the way people interpret. You see, when you're eaten directly from God, not the counsel of men, we are not going to take a sickness that which is sent to bless you and take you to a deliverance session. Because God tells you that when you are seeking this way, it's a way of you being looking for deliverance, looking for a help, looking. But here God is saying, what have you eaten? So what you eat satisfies your flesh. It gives your flesh. It nourishes your flesh. It musters your flesh. When you look at sickness, you become like Apostle Paul. He says, this is the reason why I preach the gospel of Christ. Galatians 4, I was sick. This is the reason why. Because of this sickness. He says, this is the reason why I was caused to preach the gospel. There are sicknesses that brings revelations. There are sicknesses that brings revelations. There are limitations. When they come, a heart goes, it lands into the perseverance. You can preach properly. That's why first epistle of James, chapter 1, epistle of James. Rejoice when you go through various or troubles or challenges of many kinds, or when you go through sufferings. For suffering produces for you for perseverance, and perseverance produces for you what? Hope. When there's hope, we can trust. We can say, this man of God will last, will remain. When there's no perseverance, anything that you build, it will not remain. Anything that's builded by perseverance is everlasting. If I put a brick there by perseverance, no one will remove it. No one will remove that brick. It will remain forever. So when God says, come and buy, he's saying to you, don't go among the men. Come to me. Eat. There are things that you eat them directly from God. When you go to men, men begin to be surprised now. They begin to be surprised. They begin to be shocked. What kind of a power is this? What trouble is this? No, it never started for you going down to consult those who were men. Like Apostle Paul, Galatians 2, he said, I never went down to those who were apostles before me. I went up into the Mount Sinai. When I met with God directly, he gave you direction. He ate from God. You can tell when someone has eaten from a man and when someone has eaten from God. When someone has eaten from God, they don't speak like men. They don't talk things like men. They don't speak things that are revealed by men. They can be found in the ShopRite corridor, in the shelf in ShopRite. No, the things that they say of God. Listen to this, man of God. Come and buy. Come, you don't buy only. You buy and you eat. You have to eat. What do you eat? What do you eat in your daily life? What do you eat when you are challenged? What do you eat when you are limited? What do you eat when you don't have a bread? What do you eat when you don't have a fish? What do you eat? You must be satisfied because you have God. The way things are happening in our lives, they are abnormal. When there is no bread, physical bread, you get to be satisfied more than when there is a bread. A bread that is physical fish, it disturbs your satisfaction. But to others, when there's no bread, it's stress, confusion, and it's where you need to be satisfied. You have to be satisfied. Why? Men shall not live on bread alone, but by the way that proceeds from the word of God. So I get satisfied when I have not eaten the bread. That's why to us, it's no longer fornication that is dangerous. It's no longer stealing that is dangerous. It's no longer insults. It's no longer murdering. It's no. But exactly the same food that they eat in their houses, it becomes a poison. Hey, it goes by maturity. You'll understand one day what I mean. And the time has come, and that day is today. Poison is no longer like, hey, like a fornication, adultery, poison, food. It becomes food, something that is not a sin at all. So everyone, if they can come to the level of understanding minds of God, you not struggle with fornication, no struggle with these things. Now, your struggle is to deal with the type of a food that you eat. A food that you eat. You are no longer caught up in murdering, in sin, in stealing, in confusion, in beating people, in insulting, in faults of men. But your errors now are in the type of food. Food. Have you eaten food? After eating food, you feel like, my body is changing. I'm missing some other. That's why, mental. You see, this is the reason why Moses took 40 days and 40 nights. Not hungry. You can't eat God and be hungry. You can't have a thought of God and be hungry. Jesus never dealt with one Samaritan woman. Many Samaritans. You must check clearly. Many Samaritans were able to be dealt with. When it comes to this mystery, he spent the time on the wilderness. After finishing in the wilderness, the same things that he was doing in the wilderness, he did them among people. That's why many are able to fast when there are no people around them. But when there are people around them, they can't fast. Jesus fasted among people. He fasted among people. You see, don't wait not to have food in the fridge in order to fast. No, Jesus took money, gave to the disciples, go and buy. While they were eating, while there's food, Jesus was able to fast. Will you fast among your children? Will you fast among your wives? Will you fast among the church at large? Will you fast? If they've eaten, it satisfies you. Allah Kastaba, the Klistitiklustia, the Brikistusia. Understand the mind of God. Peter, do you love me? Yes, Lord. Do you love me? Do not. He cried, take care of them. It's fine. Why you have not eaten? Jesus was now fully the stomach up into her position. Blessed are those who are thirsty, not the counsel of men. Listen to this. Isaiah 9, verse 6. It's a wonderful counselor, everlasting Father, mighty is might, and is a counselor. So a counselor, your counsel is not of men, is of wonderful peace, wonderful counselor, wonderful of might, of a son who is born, a son was given, a child which was born. That is your counsel. So when you go to among people, what covers you? Not men, but the counsel of God. Where there is a counsel of God, doors are open. There is perseverance, that which brings gain. That which brings gain. You persevere, doors open. You persevere, challenges are gone. You persevere, life is given. You persevere, a door opening to a mystery. You persevere, no rain. A rain comes after perseverance. You persevere, limitation leaves. Because it's of God. It's a perseverance of God, not of men. Not of men, but of God. Let's clap for Jesus. Clap for Master. Verse 2. Okay, yes, come and buy wine and milk without money, without the price. This is what we mean, thoughts of God. Do you know how much it takes to buy a mountain? Do you know how much it takes? If now you say to people, hey, build me a mountain, remove that mountain, bring it here. I need this mountain at the backyard. I need this mountain in the New Jerusalem. Do you know how much it takes? It takes a lot of TLBs. It takes a lot of cement, hectare engineering. It takes, but it says, come and build. Once you enter in God's mind, you can say to that mountain, move. It will listen to you. Without that which is difficult with men, it is caused by the thoughts of men. You see, when the mind is affected by the thoughts of men, even when God says, wait, I'm just giving you 2 months, you'll be healed. From this sickness, you get offended. So, it's too much. It's too much. I can't live like this, having such a sickness. But God said, wait. 2 months, it will be so. Wait, it will be so. It will be so. Oh, someone will give them 2 months, wait. 2 months would have been consulted in the midst of 2 months. Wait. Wait upon the Lord. He shall renew your strength. Those who wait eagerly, Psalm 37, upon the Lord. Their counsel shall remain forever. It says, wait patiently upon the Lord. And then those who laugh, mocking at you, speaking, is man. That's why today you are afraid to start something because people will laugh at you. Who said you must start up? Today, when people, men and women of God, when they have to do something, they think about what men will say. Were you chosen by God or man? Today, when a man says, no, you will fail. You see the words of a man coming to pass because the thoughts you have, you think that man, when they spoken, is God. Does it mean when a man said you will not prosper, you will not do this, you will, that is a conclusion. You see, if I was a pleaser of men, I don't know how many strokes would have been me. I mean, how many strokes would have hit me. I don't know. If I was a pleaser of men. Others who say you will die in 2 weeks. I'm talking about people when they preach. People stand up from wheelchair. Hey, I'm talking about, hey, this boy put the gospel into disrepute. After a month, he's dying. I said, good man of God, you prophesy correctly. I'm dying in a month. Already, I'm in the grave. Don't you see? Because some prophecies that which, when you have the mind of God, you no longer interpret things the way men interpret. When the grave speaks and say, you will die, you say, thank you for the blessing, for you caused me to die from a man to resurrect as God. When they say you are playing with the anointing, your anointing is too much and you don't know what to do with it, you play with it, you do whatever you want. Okay, thank you for the confirmation. You understand that what is in me is the anointing. You take what is good out of man. What is not good, you give it to the thought of God, the mind of God. You don't shift from God's mind and go to the thought of man. Yeah. Many people said I will die. Yeah, I'm still alive. Many said it. They say, oh, this one is going to give him 2 days. I mean, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. God will, is not a thought. God is not the respecter of man's title. Numbers 23. He's not a man that he should lie. Neither a son of man that he should repent. He's not. God respects his counsel. You can be crazy and say, oh, I have many members. A lot of people around me. Now I can say whatever I say, God will take over. You can be having a lot of people around you, yet God values the heart of the one who talks. He's alone, but there's a counsel in him. Righteousness, peace, happiness, Joy, the counsel, is a counsel of God. Listen to this. Why do you spend money for what is not a bread? 90% of lives today are in trouble because they are pleasing men. You want to show people what type of a car you are driving, what type of the clothes that your children are wearing, what type. You want to please, you live to please men. This is the reason why when God looks at you, he sees a waste. He looks and says, now, why do you spend money on men in everything you do? Huh? You know, when a person has bought a new shoe, the whole street, they won't sleep on that night. Because there are people when they are wearing a new dress. You don't even ask that is a new dress. You will tell. You will tell. You will tell. You will tell. Oh, morning. Look at, hey, when they passes through the neighbor's side, I'll cook. I mean, they will take, the same dress, taking it up a little bit. Just for the people to see. To see that today you bought a new sticker, a new sneaker, a new shirt, a new dress. The way I love privacy. They know my family. They know this. They know. You won't see me when I go to buy grocery because I have a way of doing grocery. You won't see when I'm eating. Even in the church. If you can just ask others, they've never seen me. But they've been living with me. They never see me taking food to my mouth. They never. When they bring, they know. I don't eat. I don't love to eat in front of people. No God. No God. When you know God, you love the privacy more than what is of man. And he that dwells in the most secret place. This is the reason why your bread begins to be limited, because when you eat, it's not even in the secret place. Everyone can see, today, I want to today, you buy grocery, you round your village, your street, you go around just for everyone to see. What did you buy today? Are you living for men or are you living for God? That's why today, very difficult that God can cause you to sit comfortably into a new car because you're going to be destroyed completely. Other people, when they bought the cars, they lost their character. Yeah. Come on. AC. There's a. You don't need to open the window. You'll find someone taking out, opening the window. Morning, your driver. Come on, get icon. Come on, get wind. The wind. No, close the windows. Close the windows. Close the windows. People want to please people. Today, people are going through a lot of debt because they wanted to please people. There's no peace today because they want to please people. I wouldn't mind to take my children into a local school. I wouldn't mind. Today, I'm telling you, I'm just trying to show you how to live a life of pleasing people. How you get to be troubled by pleasing people. Why people will say, if my children goes there. Why people say, well, understand how to live a peaceful life A peaceful life. It's a life that which God gives directly. It must not be intervened by man. Listen to this. Let's finish. Let's finish. Listen carefully to me. Why do you waste money on what is not a bread? If it's not a bread, you are wasting to men. You give to men attention to be honored. That's why Jesus, when he said to a rich man, go and sell everything that you have. A man thought about his fame. A man thought about his ego. A man thought about what people will say when I no longer have money. What people will say when I no longer drive the same car. What people will say when I no longer live the way I used to live. You think about the man went back sad. If you are a pleaser of men, very difficult to see the kingdom of God. Very difficult. But a camel who passed through the needle. Listen to this, man of God. Incline your ear. Come to me, verse 3. Here your soul shall live. I will make an everlasting covenant with you. And the message of David, indeed, I will give him as a witness to people, a leader and commander to people. Surely you shall call the nation you do not know. The nation you do not know. It starts by dealing with what? Mind of a man. You don't allow the man mind to enter your mind. Rejected in your hometown, you don't go and beg your hometown. You continue, you understand this is the heaven. Heaven has announced famine. Today, ministers of God, the anointing no longer operates fully because they accepted the counsel of men instead of going. That's why even the prophecies are no longer the prophecies according to God's standard. They are now prophecies according to man's standard. You prophesy that you may be loved by people. You prophesy so that you can be accepted by people. You prophesy no longer according to God's message, no longer according to God's thoughts. If God says there will be a famine, why as a prophet you come and say there will be no famine? What? Say, pastor, you come and say there will be no famine. If God said there will be a famine, give them the message as it is. Here's the reason Jeremiah was raising his time to come and say, even those prophets who told you that there will be no famine, they shall burn and be consumed by the same famine. Listen to this. Okay, put a finger. Go to the book of Jeremiah. Go to the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah is a book after Isaiah. You don't have to go far and look for Jeremiah. Just page a little bit. Jeremiah. Yaga. Yaga, yaga, yaga. Yaga, 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 yaga, yaga. And just sing together to the King of Glory. Yaga, 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 yaga. Yaga, 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 yaga. Listen to this. You're not gonna change your message because you want to be accepted by your country. You want to be accepted by men. You want to be accepted by government. You want to be accepted. That's why they trespass your church with their own traditions and their own sins and all. They are living in the church while they are sitting in the church, inside the church.